Alright, hey, welcome back. Branch here. Another repair video. We have I think it's roughly a 1995 a generator running off of a Homelite generator head running off of a Subaru Robin 7.5 horsepower. See, Homelite's out of South Carolina, I believe, and or Charlotte, and it looks like this engine was made in Japan, which is pretty nice. That we received off of Facebook Marketplace, because you know I'm very impulsive about these things, and we'll see if we can revive her. So get a quick look in the tank here. Luckily it's you know, plastic tank. We don't have to worry about rust. Gas smells okay. The guy had mentioned that it would start and then would die almost immediately. We couldn't get it started when I was checking it out, and I just kind of asked him, did it make power? And he was like, yeah, it did make power. So kind of going out on a limb there, but I think we'll be I think we're in good luck here. So it's a 3800 watt generator with a 4300 surge capabilities, and we'll see what we can do. Take off air filter housing here. Alright, that's not too bad. We'll get that cleaned up in some mild soap a little later. I've already got the ultrasonic going, you know, because most likely it's definitely a carb issue. Let's see. I do have the spark plug out already. Let's check for compression. And let's also dribble a dab of oil down the cylinder here, just to kind of lubricate everything. I think I missed that pretty good. Give that another little go. There we go. And then slowly pull over the engine here, just to kind of lubricate the piston, the cylinder, and the rings. And that's the PCV pulsing out. And she feels pretty smooth. I did notice some minor surface rust on the flywheel inside the fan shroud, and quite a bit of surface rust on the muffler, and I'll pull that off later and probably wire wheel it. And then on the bottom of the exterior stator wall there, just from sitting on the ground and the moisture, you know, kind of evaporating up, or yeah, just being close to the moisture where it's gonna lay. And but all in all, you know, she looks really clean. I mean, look at the cylinder head and the fins around the cylinder. They look really clean. And I don't see any oil leaks. Sorry about the lighting. I'm just kind of working with what I have here. So let's get a gander at the oil since we're on that topic. Well, we have some, a little less than half. Let's wipe that off and re-dip it. Yeah, even a little less. And yep, kind of dark, not real dark, but yeah, definitely needs a change. And I would definitely add a little bit before I cranked it. Well, I'm usually pretty hopeful about them, so I'll most likely do a full change before I even attempt to crank it, but we'll get to that a little later. All right, so let's do a compression test since we have the spark plug out, and then we'll check for spark. Well, that doesn't really matter. I'm not really worried about that. So yeah, let's do a compression test and then we'll check for spark. Now I know you know, some of you guys utilize these Harbor Freight compression testers, but I found this one, at least the specific one, that I do not display very adequate results in comparison with this old school USG compression tester. So I just keep the kit around for the adapters, and I'm not saying that they're, you know, it's bad stuff and all, but I think we're gonna have a really hard time. Yeah. Screwing this on here. Yeah, there we go. A little tight, but it works. All right, let's see what we get there. The throttle is all the way open because it's standard, and choke is open or not engaged. Hard time to get a good pull here, but lots of compression. Yeah, I think that is adequate enough because there's probably some kind of compression release, so we've got 60 psi. I think that's plenty on a generator. Yeah, a lot of compression. A little hard to pull up on the table, but yeah. All right, cool. Now let's check for spark here. This was the plug that was in it, and I don't know if he moved it from something else, but it does look like it has been fired. Now if it was fired in here or not, I'm not totally sure, but we'll get into that later. So just plug it into the boot here and ground it to the body of the engine, or in this case the cylinder head. Let's see what we got. Make sure our switch is on. All right, we're on now. Oh yeah. Good spark, good spark. Really good spark. So that's good. Good spark, we got compression. And let's get this carburetor off and get it dipped in the ultrasonic there. Okay guys, after a little bit of struggle fighting with that governor rod, I did manage to get it off. Okay, so let's get this carb disassembled here. Oh yeah, so yeah, my main jet is stuck in there. My needle's still stuck. I can't get the pin out for the float. So I'm gonna dip all that in the ultrasonic. I did manage to crack the pilot jet here, so removing that now. Okay, well that's cooking. Carburetor's cooking. We'll get this muffler off of here and see if we can clean the surface rust up a bit. All right, so we got the carburetor back in the ultrasonic for round 2. It's heating up at the moment. I want to pull this oil out and All right, let's get this car back together. It's been I put in the ultrasonic twice and then soaked it overnight in the solution to free up the needle, and it did free up pretty well. I've got a seal there. Air is blowing through. Could be a little bit better, but I couldn't get the pin out holding the float. So it's just the way I had to do it, and I think it's good enough to run. And let's go ahead and get it put back together. All right. Hey, yeah, we're back with the Homelite generator. It's a LR 4300, running off of a Subaru Robin EY28. It's a 7.5 horsepower. So I did get it running after I cleaned the car several times, but my engine was racing a bit, so I turned it off pretty quick. So I've got to adjust the governor rod, and we'll get to that in a little while. But I also noticed that one of the legs of the generator was not producing power, and upon further inspection, I did notice that one of the circuit breakers was tripped. It was protruding out, and we'll test those a little later, and we'll also pull off the gen head here and test the resistance of the windings of the main ends and from the end to the common, the center tap, and we'll also check the resistance of the rotor at the slip rings. All right, let's get some measurements. First of the rotor, and we're going to measure at the slip rings. So we probe slip rings, and I should receive about 67 ohms. And looks like we do. Okay, now let's probe the wires coming out of the stator, which are the red, the black, the brown, and the white. And I'm pretty positive that the red and the black are my end to ends, and my white and my brown are my commons, and my white is bonded to ground. So let's measure across my end to end of the winding. Should get about 0.6. There it is. Now let's measure from end to my center tapped common, also bonded with the ground, and that would be the white here. Should have about half of that, 0.3. Now let's measure from the other end of the coil to, I believe, is the other common. It's just branched off. It should be half, 0.3. So I think that checks out, and we'll see if we're outputting power on both legs when the circuit breakers arrive. Okay, let's get this governor reset. So first, you want to loosen the governor shaft here on the side, which I already did, and you want to also make sure that the throttle plate, I'm opening it now, you want to make sure the throttle plate is all the way open, and you want to also, there's an adjustment screw for the governor, not sure what it's called. Sometimes they're hexes and sometimes they're slotted heads, and you want to make sure that it is set all the way. You'll feel it, like if I go back, you know, you want to make sure it's all the way the same direction as you move the shaft to open the throttle plate up. So I'm going to go back with this, and then I can feel it hit. And so you want to make sure it's hitting firmly, and the throttle plate's still open, all the way open. And then now you want to tighten back down the stud for the governor shaft. And I felt mine, it was off. So yeah. That should do it. There we go. That should fix the governor issue. Okay, yeah, I wanted to take a look here at the tank, or inside the tank, and check out the condition. Now the gas smells pretty normal, but I don't know if you guys can see this, probably not. Probably not, but if I take a look in, there's a lot of dirt and debris in the tank. So we're gonna get the tank drained out, and then we're gonna change the fuel filter and the air filter. Oh, oh. That fucking fuel valve fell right out on me. Yep. GoPro, stop recording. Yeah, so the nipple on the bottom of the tank is exactly what James had talked about, James Condon. You know, the nozzle of the fuel shutoff valve gave way. See, it's 2.8 up. Yeah. So I gotta get another one of these. Oh, definitely, yeah. That was barely hanging on. And I'll look and see if I have a grommet that may work. Yeah, this is 8 up bad. So that's a long shot, but maybe. Might have a grommet that might work for that. So let's see what we can find. Let's go ahead and pull this out of the carrier here. Still dripping a bit. I barely missed the the generator itself. Yeah, I got pretty lucky there. I knew that thing was about ready to go. So, oh yeah, and there's some RTV or something. No, just plastic. Plastic, like remnants of a hole drill or something. I'm not sure. So, well, that should definitely get all the crap out of there. Well, majority of it. So yeah, that was all it was holding. It was inserted into the hole there and holding the nozzle and the fuel valve on. That's it. Barely hanging in there. And that's what James had talked about. I know I repeated that. Let me look through my stuff, my stash, and see what I can find. Okay, yeah, I don't. I was looking through my bushings or grommets, and I just don't have anything that's like this fuel tank bushing grommet with the flared flange there. So they're cheap on eBay, you know, $5.99. So I'm just going to order that, and I will just run some new hose, because I did notice that this little nipple here from the fuel valve to the filter is cracked. So we'll just run some new hose and put the tank back on, and we'll wait on the fuel valve. GoPro stop. GoPro stop recording. All right, let's get this new fuel line sized up and cut here. Alright, yeah, let's get this new air filter installed, and I'm just gonna lightly oil the pre-filter. It's a semi-dry type, and get it installed. Just kind of absorb it in, and then we'll dab the excess off with the paper towels. This helps to collect finer particles from being drawn into the engine that the secondary element cannot filter against. So you don't want it too oily, because you won't get the desired airflow. You just kind of want it nice and moist. Probably not an exact science to it, but I say that's good. Yeah. Slide that guy on there. Kind of tuck it in the ring. There we go. Let's get this old one uninstalled. Get this new guy in here. See, that one, you know, if it had a good soak, it would probably still be usable, and I will try to clean it up the best I can, just for a backup. So, but yeah. Here's the ridge. There we go. She's in. That's good. And still waiting on the circuit breakers and the fuel valve. So we'll get back to you when those come in, and we'll give her a go. Hey guys, we're gonna get going on this. We got the circuit breakers in, and the threaded OD is a little bit bigger than the bore uh, on the gin head for the circuit breaker. So I am just burring the hole out a bit, and I'm almost got this one squared away. And so we'll continue with that. There we go, that work. So let's get these terminals back and we'll install the breakers. I'll get the rest in. And let's see. There's a little bit in there. Should just let it free. We'll just take. Alright, so here's it. Like this. My right side output, that was my red. So lower. Let's do this. So nothing there, so I was going to get orientation. Like that. Okay. So like this. Not that in there. I need to have. Yeah, so you do. You hold it. Does have. Alright, I'm not going to try this again. I think great, but that worked. That's hard. Like that's the right way. That is not pretty good. Well, yeah. Okay. The second one was okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. That's too much. It's kind of one hand, is it? Oh, that works. Yeah, let's see where. More works. And because the displacement was about right. Yeah, probably that's bummer. Unless I get all the bigger. I don't around. And I don't think it's anything. No. But I don't think. I'll deal with it. Yeah, not gonna get to. So, I think. Hey, I just wanted to show you guys the bad circuit breaker. So this is the good one. There was one good one, and the bad one that's protruding out, it's intermittently stuck. Yeah, there's no connection whether you try to reset it or not. And we'll just go ahead and test the new ones here before we put them in. Good continuity there, and then continuity there. So I don't know, There we go. Just that works not last night, and how was it? So let's see. Get release on the tubing. Alright. And I need to put it down very grease on the shaft of the wheel bearing. Just good. I want to strain there. I'm not sure if it's too much. I think that'd be good. I would go with that one. Strain there. There's a good wheel bearing there. Yeah. Alright. Now let's get the brush in. Okay. So I'm going to And then yeah, we've got to go with the, you see the arch in the brushes where they've been making contact. You want to make sure you reposition them if you're reusing them in that same manner. Now I do see a more profound arch on one end, so I'm not sure which way that would be. Not totally sure. So it's gonna be like this. Yeah. There's a hole in it. So I believe something like this. There's a throttle right here, and lead it up and hold to wedge the brush in as I'm slinging the rotor shaft anywhere around there. Right. That's it. And hold on, get the hole. 1, 2, 3, 2. And that one. Right, and then that is wedge. Now to slide up just right there. Just bring the brush. And make sure orientation is right. And when it comes up, so you're going to be like this. And you can shift up. Go down. So you get this. Take your wedge. Hold that in there. Keep that fingers. Not a good wedge. And just wedge in. Oh, got that. Back it. There we go. Like that. Now we'll wedge in there. I'm going to double check the brushes right. The arch that has already been, I guess, surfaced on the end of the brushes by the slip rings, by the rotation, by the contact of the rotational surface or radial surface of the slip rings. And go ahead and without pulling out the holder, we want to go ahead and pull. We want to go ahead and hold on. I got hot glue gun still running. No, it's off. So yeah, this I like to be okay. All right. So everything internally, I think, is good to go. Breakers are in, spades are on their respective terminals, brushes are in, and we're gonna go for it. All right, my rotor shaft is on the, or inside the bearing housing. See, I'm gonna kind of hold my brush rod holder. Yeah. Okay. There's one brush. There's the other brush. So let's go ahead and mount the gin head cover back on. Hey guys, I just wanted to do a final resistance check on the legs. The fuel valve did come in, so I'm going to get that installed here in a moment and the tank put back on, and we'll test her. Let's see. So we've got our ground here, and opposite of that is our common. And then we'll just go in the 240 receptacle here and test both of the legs. And so this is one of the legs. I should get about 0.3 ohms. Good. And then this is the other leg. Should get 0.3. And then this is both legs together. Should be double that for the length of, because it's double the length of wire on a of the coil, because this is a split phase or 180 degrees out of phase wiring as far as the coil and how it's wired, because we're from one end to the other end, and it's wound in the same direction all the way through beyond this, and then beyond all the way through to the other end, and then at the center of that coil, which coins the term 180 degrees center tapped. So it's 180 degrees out of phase. Each phase is going in the same direction out of phase, and then it's center tapped in the center of that coil. A common is center tapped, and also a ground is bonded to that common, and that allows the full use of the whole coil. And I believe if it was in phase, you would only get power respectively at the end to the center, or center to end. You would not get you not receive power from end to total end. And I believe the common helps to balance the load, and it's the return channel or return path of the load. So something to that degree. All right, let's get this gas tank back on, and we'll get the fuel line ran from the tank to the carb. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on something before I start. So this generator is 7.5 horsepower, right? So a horsepower, you get 0.74 kilowatts. And so for 7.5 horsepower, it would be 5,602 watts. That's if the engine is 100% efficient. And most likely it's not, it's 75, 80%. Then you also have the factor of the circuit breakers that are tied into each leg, and they're 20 amp breakers, right? And so generally they're about 80% efficient. So we're roughly 16 amps, which is only 1920 watts per leg, and both legs combined that would be 3840 watts, which this generator is rated at 3800 watts continuous power with 4300 watts surge. Now I don't even know if it would be able to handle a surge of 4300 watts, considering the 80% efficiency rating of the 20 amp breakers that puts those breakers down to 16 amps. So just a little tidbit of information there. All right, we got the Homelite generator. We're about to give her a go, give her a start, and see if she is producing power. Here we go. She's running 61.5 hertz. I think I need a little bit of adjustment. I couldn't get the metering jet out, so I just had to dip it in the ultrasonic twice. May have to work some gunk out, surging a little bit, but we definitely have power on this leg. And we also have power on the other leg now. Granted, this is only a 250 watt load. It's not much. It's like 250. So she's sounding better as she runs. And both legs, as far as power, that's only 225 watt load. I think that will clean out. I think that will clean out some as it runs. But all in all, successful. Hope this video helps somebody.